Over the past 20 years, the Money in the Bank has become a staple of WWE. Its high-intensity, car crash-level style has attracted the eyes of many fans, making it a must-see pay-per-view of the year. Money in the Bank has changed careers and lives, boosting stars to the main event scene, and failed cash-ins have sent them flying back to the mid-card. But the cash-ins aren't the only memorable moment. The spots during the match were crazy. Superstars have used the ladder in every way, shape, or form to take each other out, and it's been epic. Every year, there's been something crazy, and it seems like it's not stopping anytime soon. At New Year's Revolution 2006, John Cena would defend his WWE Championship in an elimination chamber. He would win, but he'd be a bloody mess. So at this point, you would think that John Cena's gonna go to the back, clean himself up, and appear next night on Raw as champion. But then Vince comes out and announced that the Money in the Bank is getting cashed in. And out comes the biggest menace in the WWE at the time, Edge. I don't know what's Edge's problem. He already stole a man's girlfriend. Now he's trying to steal a man's championship too? Edge, who hurt you? Edge would win, adding the cash in to the list of menaced behavior that he showed in the WWE. He would only hold it for 3 weeks before dropping it to John Cena. Tragic. The next moment is more sinister than the last one. At Money in the Bank 2018, Braun Strowman, Miz, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, Kofi Kingston, Finn Balor, Bobby Roode, and Rusev will compete for the Money in the Bank briefcase. The match was chaotic, as expected, and everyone would get their moment in the match. But the biggest interaction was between Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman. With Kevin Owens on the ladder, Braun Strowman is held down by Samoa Joe and Rusev on the table. But Braun breaks free and gets rid of Rusev and Samoa Joe, leaving Kevin Owens by himself. Kevin starts pleading with Braun to let him go, because he has a wife and a kid at home, and he doesn't want to die. At least not today. And at this point in Braun's career, he was showing that he was a nice guy. He let a 10-year-old win a tag team championship with him at WrestleMania, so there might be a chance that he might let him go. But instead, he does this.
Bruh.
Braun almost killed a man and continued the match like nothing happened. I guess that's why they call him the monster among men. Another moment was at WrestleMania 22. That year's Money in the Bank ladder match was filled with young, athletic stars like Shelton Benjamin and RVD, but there is one person who stands out, who shouldn't have been in the match in the first place, and that's Ric Flair. Who allowed this to happen? Whoever authorized this needs to be put in jail, because after all the bumps Ric Flair has taken in his career, you put him in this match is insane. So during the match, Ric Flair would be at the top of the ladder with Matt Hardy. They brawl for a bit, then Matt Hardy suplexes Ric Flair off the ladder. Why was he even in that position? He was 57! So after the fall, Ric Flair would be taken to the back after complaining about being in pain with his knee, only to come back a few minutes later and try again. Unbelievable. Now this next moment was a robbery. Or should I say, a heist. At WrestleMania 31, Brock Lesnar would defend his WWE Championship against Roman Reigns. Most people would consider this a lose-lose situation, because if Brock Lesnar wins, the championship goes missing for a couple of months. If Roman Reigns wins, Roman is champion. So it looked like the fans were gonna go home unhappy. But then we see this.
Seth Rollins! This is brilliant! Mr. Money in the Bank!
Rollins was running down to the ring like a man when his car gets repossessed, and he would go on to commit the heist of the century. He cashed in his Money in the Bank on the grandest stage, winning the championship in the main event. He created the greatest Money in the Bank cash-in and single-handedly saved WrestleMania from having a terrible ending. Shout out to Rollins. At WrestleMania 23, we would see two brothers get revenge. With Edge and Matt Hardy on the outside and Jeff in the ring, Matt sets a bridge between the ladder and the apron and puts Edge on it. Jeff sets up a ladder inside the ring, climbs to the top, and then the Hardy Boys just got their get back. At WrestleMania 17, Edge speared Jeff from a ladder at least 8 feet in the air. So it was only right that he did this. And Edge stole Matt Hardy's girlfriend Lita. And when WWE turned it into a storyline, Matt lost again. But at WrestleMania 23, he got his revenge, because this spot not only hit Edge, but it took him out the match entirely. Even though neither of them won the Money in the Bank briefcase, the Hardys were the real winners in the end. Now let's go through the worst and dumbest cash-in in WWE history. Austin Theory. When wrestlers were kids, a lot of them dreamed of being WWE champion, but not everybody achieves this dream. Now imagine you as a WWE superstar. You get handpicked by the boss to be the next Golden Boy. He gets you a spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match. You win, and now you have a WWE Championship match anytime you want. You instead cash it in on the United States champion, and still lose. How do you fumble an opportunity this big? Theory had a 1 in a million opportunity and does the dumbest thing you could possibly do. And the worst thing about this cash-in is that he already held the US title before. This was idiot behavior. In 2012, Dolph Ziggler would win the Money in the Bank for a chance at the World Heavyweight Championship. Over the next 9 months, Dolph Ziggler would build momentum by defending the Money in the Bank briefcase against top stars like Chris Jericho and John Cena. And on April 8th, 2013, we'd see one of the biggest Raw after WrestleMania moments. After a few minutes of false finishes, Dolph Ziggler hits Del Rio with the zigzag to win the World Heavyweight Championship. After years of gimmick changes, being in the mid-card scene, Ziggler finally made it to the main event scene and won the World Heavyweight Championship in a proper fashion. In 2019, that year's Money in the Bank ladder match had to be the most chaotic Money in the Bank ladder match in WWE history. These superstars went through the craziest and most dangerous spots, especially Finn Balor. His back had to be in pieces after the match. Ricochet and Ali also had their fair share of brutality. Overall, it was an entertaining match, but how the match ended has to be the most dirtiest ending. After all the superstars went through the pain and suffering of the ladder match, Brock Lesnar pulls up out of nowhere and knocks Ali off the ladder and climbs up the ladder to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. Lesnar won the Money in the Bank. He took less bumps than Randy Orton, and Randy Orton barely takes bumps at all. Brock Lesnar didn't even need the win. He would have got a chance at the title anyway. They should have gave it to Ali so he could have built up some of the momentum that he lost earlier that year. It was a case of good match with a bad ending. Now, the final moment, the most memorable moment from the most memorable Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Cena versus Punk for the WWE Championship. At Money in the Bank, Cena and Punk put on a classic. Near the end of the match, with Punk in the STF, McMahon and Laurinaitis come out and try to recreate the Montreal Screwjob. But Cena stops Laurinaitis and basically tells McMahon he wants to do things the hard way, only for him to slide back into the ring to get hit with a GTS and lose. McMahon calls for his backup plan, Del Rio, only for Del Rio to run to the ring and get knocked out by CM Punk. CM Punk takes the title, leaves through the crowd to never be seen again, only to return 8 days later. This moment alone made the 2011 Money in the Bank the best Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Everything about this storyline was great, from beginning to end. I don't think any future Money in the Bank storylines can top this. So, that's it.